How they moved the world's most valuable object. On Christmas Day 2021, the James Webb Space Telescope finally embarked on its long-awaited journey to explore the cosmos. After years of delays and billions of dollars invested, the telescope was now headed toward Lagrange Point 2, a spot in space located 1.5 million kilometers from Earth. The journey to this distant location took 30 days. But even before James Webb left the ground, it had already undergone an incredible voyage of its own. The challenges behind the James Webb Telescope. The story of James Webb is nothing short of extraordinary. In fact, it's almost miraculous that this telescope made it to space at all. Development began way back in 1996, with an expected launch date set for 2007. Between then and its eventual launch in 2021, the project faced a massive redesign in 2005, endured a ripped sunshield, nearly got cancelled by the US Congress, and even survived the global COVID-19 pandemic. All these hurdles caused the budget to balloon from $500 million to a staggering $10 billion by the time the telescope was completed. With such an invaluable asset in NASA's hands, transporting the telescope 9,000 kilometers around the globe to the launch site was a mission that demanded unparalleled care. How NASA packaged the James Webb Telescope. Before NASA even planned the complex route, the first challenge was to figure out how to package this priceless instrument safely. Though cardboard box technology had advanced over the years, Webb needed something far stronger. Enter STTARS, the Space Telescope Transporter for Air, Road, and Sea, a custom-built shipping container, designed not only to protect the telescope during transit, but also to serve as a mobile clean room. Webb's instruments are so sensitive that even a tiny speck of dust or a single fingerprint could cause serious damage. The container was kept so immaculate that it allowed no more than 100 particles inside, all much smaller than the width of a human hair. Every single nut and bolt was inspected under ultraviolet light to detect any unwanted contaminants. Only when the container was perfectly sterile could Webb be carefully loaded inside. This meticulous process took nearly a month, as the telescope had to be folded into its launch configuration, resembling a gigantic piece of origami. The remarkable journey of the James Webb Mirror. Before assembly, the telescope's mirror itself underwent a fascinating journey. Webb's primary mirror is made up of 18 giant, hexagonal segments crafted from beryllium, a metal chosen for its incredible strength-to-weight ratio. Despite being roughly 3 times larger than Hubble's mirror, Webb's mirror weighs only a fraction of the mass. Creating these flawlessly polished mirror segments involved 14 stops across 11 locations throughout the United States. The adventure began in the mountains of Utah, where beryllium powder was mined. From there, it was shipped to Ohio for purification and casting into individual mirror blanks. Next, the blanks traveled to Alabama, where they were machined into a honeycomb structure to reduce weight. Then came California, where the mirrors were polished with extraordinary precision, arguably the most critical step in the entire process. Over the following years, the segments crisscrossed the country for rigorous testing to ensure perfection. On the 9th trip, they reached New Jersey, where a thin layer of gold was evaporated onto each segment, inside a vacuum chamber to enhance reflectivity. After more testing, the segments were taken to Maryland to be assembled and attached to the main instrument module. Years of final testing culminated in Redondo Beach, California, where the mirror was finally joined with its enormous sunshield. 17 years after the first mirror segment was crafted, James Webb was ready for its last terrestrial journey. Transporting the James Webb Telescope. The first leg involved moving the telescope from Northrop Grumman's facility in Redondo Beach to a port in Seal Beach, where a ship awaited to carry it to French Guiana. Though just 41 kilometers, this trip had to be flawless. NASA's team had only one chance. Before departure, satellite imagery was used to meticulously inspect every inch of the route for potential obstacles. Every pothole was filled and many traffic lights were temporarily lifted to make room for the container. To minimize public disruption and ensure safety, the telescope moved only at night with a narrow 6-hour window to complete the journey. Traveling at just 8 kilometers per hour due to its size and weight, the team planned several safe havens along the way for shelter and maintenance, if needed. At midnight, Webb set off, accompanied by a convoy of support vehicles and police escorts. Remarkably, no roads were fully closed. Regular traffic was carefully guided around the convoy. Several trucks carrying pressurized bottles of dry air trailed behind, constantly replenishing the container's ultra-clean atmosphere. By the early morning, the telescope arrived safely at the port. This marked only the beginning. Next, Webb was loaded onto a French cargo ship, a complex operation that required driving the container onto a barge and rotating it precisely to face the ship's loading ramp. Throughout the voyage, the container had to remain nearly perfectly level. To avoid rough seas, NASA collaborated closely with the ship's crew to chart a course through the calmest ocean waters. This leg took 16 days, including passage through the Panama Canal and sailing up the Kuru River, finally reaching the Ghana Space Center. A global collaboration. In total, the James Webb Telescope took about 13 years to build, from the initial assembly of parts in 2004 to the completed telescope in 2017. It was far from a solo NASA project. Space agencies and partners from around the world contributed components and expertise long before the telescope's journey to the launch pad. Now that James Webb is precisely where it needs to be, we eagerly await the incredible discoveries and breathtaking images it will unveil about our universe. If you're eager to make your own incredible discoveries, check out Brilliant.org, an online learning platform that makes STEM subjects interactive and accessible. Brilliant teaches you how to think critically and deeply about problems, helping you truly understand complex topics. Learn at your own pace anytime, with a wide range of engaging courses in science, math, engineering, and more. To start learning for free, visit brilliant.org/primalspace or click the link in the description below. The first 200 signups also get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. If you want to support the channel further, consider becoming a patron for exclusive input on videos and access to our private Discord server. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.